what are the steps of the hormones biosynthesis inside the thyroid gland follicle. Okay, so let me start one by one. See, first is thyroglobulin formation and the transport. So thyroglobulin contain 140 tyrosine residue. So what is the base of this thyroglobulin? It is a 140 tyrosine residue. It is formed and secreted by rough endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus of the follicular cell. So where it is formed? Inside the follicular cell. Synthesis happen in the lumen, but they are synthesized in the follicular cell. Okay. Now, which is the raw material of thyroid hormone? It is the iodine. So for that, you have iodide pump on the basolateral side, or it is called as iodide trap. See, iodide is the ion form of the iodine which is present in the blood. It is iodide, not iodine. Okay, and its concentration inside the follicular cell is much higher than the circulation. It is around 30 to 250 times much higher. So it cannot get transported by simple diffusion passively, because inside the follicle they are much more in amount. So you need some active transport. Okay, for this reason we need secondary active transport just to enter this iodide inside the follicular cell, and this is called as iodide pump or iodide trap, iodine trap. Now sometime if there is a lot of plenty of iodide, large amount of iodine, which reduces the thyroid hormone synthesis or level, it is called as Wolff-Chaikoff effect. It is called as Wolff-Chaikoff effect. And when the same thing, I mean excess iodine decreases thyroid hormone function, it is called as Wolff-Chaikoff, and if it increases, it is called as Jod-Basidos phenomena. So it is actually it is auto regulation. It is the auto regulation mechanism by iodide pump. If it fails, and if it causing excess amount of thyroid hormone, it is called as Jod-Basidos phenomena, and if it causes less amount of thyroid hormone function, it is called as Wolff-Chaikoff effect. So auto regulation failure can cause both excess of hormone or lessening of the hormone. So there are two effects of this hormone. Number 3, so now iodide is being transported in the follicle by iodine pump or iodide pump. It is thrown in the lumen. Synthesis is happening in the lumen by a protein called as pendrin protein. Pendrin protein, very important protein. It is also present in the internal ear. That is why if there is a mutation of pendrin protein, it causes Pendred syndrome, in which patient have goiter also and sensorineural deafness also. Okay, it's very important clinical point. So iodide, it coming inside the follicle by iodide pump, thrown in the lumen by pendrin protein. Now this is iodide. You need what? Iodine to form thyroxine hormone. So the first step in the lumen is that iodide is oxidized into iodine by a beautiful enzyme called as TPO, thyroid peroxidase enzyme. It is placed nearby or sometimes attached to the apical membrane because it is needed every time. TPO enzyme has a lot of function. So the first function of TPO is oxidation of iodide to iodine. Now in the lumen you have what? Iodine. From the blood you have taken what? Iodide. First by the pump, then by the pendrin protein. Now comes organification of thyroglobulin. What is this? It also happens by the enzyme TPO. Oxidation by TPO and even organification by TPO. What is this? The binding of the iodine with thyroglobulin is called as organification. It remains attached to it until gland is stimulated to secrete, and they can form two types of binding. After binding of organification, they either can form MIT, I mean monoiodotyrosine, or they can form into diiodotyrosine, MIT or DIT. So the first step is what? Oxidation of iodide. Second step is what? Organification of thyroglobulin, both by same enzyme TPO, forming MIT and DIT. The third reaction is, the third step is in the lumen is coupling reaction, your favorite. Okay, they will couple. Okay, so when DIT couple with DIT, it forms thyroxine, that is T4, the precursor form T4. And when DIT, when MIT and DIT merge together, they form T3 hormone, T3, the more active form, T3 form. And when it changes, the sequence is changed, DIT is early in the chain, MIT is late in the chain, it forms reverse T3, which is inactive form. Okay, it is all about the sequence of MIT and DIT. So main is the precursor is T4, active is T3, and inactive is RT3, reverse T3. So remember that all these three reaction, all these three steps, number 1, oxidation of iodide, number 2, organification of thyroglobulin, and number 3, coupling reaction, all these three are catabolized by a single enzyme called as thyroid peroxidase enzyme. Okay, and these products will be stored in the colloid within the follicular lumen, which can be sufficient for up to, you can say, 2 or 3 months. It can be sufficient. Okay, now after that, endocytosis of thyroglobulin will happen from the follicular lumen into the follicular cell. So by pinocytosis, these follicular cell will extend the projection which form pinocytic vesicle, which surround thyroglobulin and take it up to the cell. Okay, and then fusion of lysosome immediately with the vesicle happen, and hydrolysis of the peptide bond will release MIT, DIT, T3, T4 from the thyroglobulin, and in the circulation you have T3 and T4 mainly. T4 is the precursor hormone, T3 is the active form. Now mainly it is T4, but the main active form is T3, which act on the nuclear receptor. So most of the time T4 is converted into T3. Okay. Okay, anyway. So now deiodination of DIT and MIT happen by thyroid deiodinase. It is called as recycling. This is the last step of thyroid hormone formation. Now this is happening from the blood in the follicle, ultimately in the lumen, then get back into the blood circulation. So the raw material was iodide. So from the blood you have given iodide, and what you have taken? Thyroid hormone.